After the age of 60, many men experience a gradual decline in confidence, physical strength, and intimate vitality. This change is often accepted as a natural part of aging, yet there are methods that suggest otherwise. One of the most effective and natural ways to restore male vitality does not rely on medications or expensive treatments. Instead, it begins with something much simpler, an internal shift, and a physical practice that is entirely within reach. This approach focuses on a method that is gentle, natural, and accessible. It emphasizes the importance of reconnecting the mind and body, enhancing circulation, and cultivating control over one's own responses. Central to this approach is the concept of conscious self-stimulation, a practice designed to be intentional, mindful, and health-focused. Traditionally, self-stimulation has been seen as a quick, instinctual act with little thought behind it. However, when practiced with awareness and care, it becomes a form of self-therapy. The act transforms from something rushed into a process similar to preparing and enjoying a nourishing meal, deliberate, attentive, and deeply satisfying. Conscious self-stimulation invites full attention to every sensation, breath, and physical change. It becomes a way to listen to the body and understand how it reacts to gentle touch. As a result, this practice improves blood flow to the genital area, enhances the sensitivity of erectile tissues, and supports the health of the pelvic floor muscles, key components in achieving and maintaining strong erections. Regular engagement of these muscles strengthens their function and flexibility, supporting both erection strength and ejaculatory control. Beyond the physical benefits, this technique also fosters psychological well-being. It helps reduce stress and anxiety, which are known contributors to erectile difficulties, especially in older men. This process becomes an opportunity to repair the connection between the mind and body. By staying present with each sensation, the practitioner gains greater control over arousal and physical response, creating a sense of calm and confidence. It is no longer just a release of tension, it becomes a structured and empowering form of self-care. The next step in this journey focuses on practical techniques that build on this foundation. One of the first is gentle compression, a method that uses light pressure to stimulate blood vessels and improve circulation in erectile tissues. This method supports tissue elasticity, maintains sensitivity, and helps preserve overall function. Before engaging in such techniques, understanding the underlying mechanisms is essential. Gentle compression mimics the effect of physical exercise on muscle health, but is targeted specifically toward the erectile structures. Just as regular movement keeps the arms and legs strong, consistent mindful stimulation helps preserve strength and responsiveness in the sexual organs. By shifting the perspective on self-stimulation and incorporating mindful techniques, men over 60 can experience significant improvements in sexual health, confidence, and emotional well-being. This practice becomes a valuable part of a holistic approach to aging with strength and dignity. Gentle compression is a simple yet powerful method that works much like muscle training. Just as exercises like bicep curls or leg presses help strengthen and preserve muscle tone in the arms or legs, gentle compression supports the health of erectile tissues through controlled movement and increased blood circulation. This practice helps maintain the elasticity of the tissues, stimulates microcirculation, and trains muscular control, all essential for sustaining natural erectile function as the body ages. The process begins in a quiet, private space where there are no distractions. This kind of environment is crucial because it allows full concentration on physical sensation and body awareness. A person can choose to lie flat on their back or sit upright in a chair as long as the position supports relaxation and easy mobility. Before starting, a small amount of water-based lubricant is applied to reduce friction and increase comfort, allowing each compression movement to be both smooth and effective. Once prepared, stimulation begins slowly until reaching about 50 to 60% of an erection. This semi-aroused state is ideal for performing gentle compression. The hand is placed around the shaft with a moderate grip, firm enough to create pressure, but not so tight that it causes discomfort. The motion begins at the base and moves gradually toward the tip, mimicking the forward flow of blood. As the movement progresses upward, the breath should flow in deep, steady, and calm. As the hand releases its grip, the breath is released slowly. This rhythmic synchronization of movement and breath enhances the body's relaxation response and improves circulation throughout the pelvic region. The movement is repeated continuously for 10 to 15 minutes. During this time, attention remains on the rhythm of breathing and the subtle sensations within the body. In early sessions, pressure should remain light to allow the tissues and muscles to adapt. With practice, pressure can be gently increased, but it must always stay within a pain-free and comfortable range. A warm, tingling sensation often begins to spread across the pelvic area during the exercise. This is a positive sign and indication that blood is flowing effectively, oxygen is reaching the tissues, and nerves are being stimulated. These effects support not only improved erection strength, but also heightened sensitivity and refined control of the pelvic floor muscles. These muscles, often overlooked, play a vital role in male sexual health. When properly activated and strengthened, they enhance endurance and precision in intimate moments. It is important to understand that the purpose of gentle compression is not to induce climax. Instead, it is to build a foundation of control, circulation, and responsiveness. Like any form of strength training, results are cumulative. Practicing this technique 3 to 4 times a week can lead to noticeable changes over time. Erections may become firmer, sensitivity may increase, and the overall sense of control may return to a level not experienced in years. Once this foundational technique becomes familiar, it opens the door to more advanced methods, strategies designed to fine-tune arousal control and further elevate physical endurance. Among these, stimulation control is the next logical progression. Stimulation control is a technique that targets one of the most common challenges in male intimacy: premature climax. It offers a structured way to manage arousal levels, stretch endurance, and train the nervous system to sustain heightened states of pleasure without losing control too early. The process begins with preparation, just like in gentle compression. A calm, quiet environment is selected to eliminate distractions and allow the body to fully relax. The individual lies down or sits in a supportive position, breathing deeply to bring the mind and body into a centered state. Stimulation begins gradually building up to around 70 to 80% of the arousal threshold. This is the point where excitement is high but still within the zone of control. At this peak moment, all stimulation is paused. Instead of continuing, attention is directed inward toward the breath, the heartbeat, and the slowing of arousal. Deep breaths help stabilize the nervous system, allowing the body to gradually descend from the brink of climax to a more balanced state of around 50 to 60% arousal. This rise and fall cycle is repeated several times within a single session, typically 3 to 5 times. Each time the body is brought close to climax, control is exercised and the stimulation is halted. With every repetition, the nervous system becomes more accustomed to operating within this high arousal range without tipping over the edge. This develops a powerful internal skill, one that enhances both performance and confidence in real-world intimacy. At first, managing this peak state may be difficult. The body is conditioned to follow through once arousal builds. Interrupting that cycle and refocusing attention takes patience and discipline, but with consistent practice it becomes easier. The ability to regulate arousal improves. Emotions become more manageable, and moments of intimacy can last longer with greater connection and satisfaction. Practicing stimulation control 2 to 3 times per week can yield gradual, measurable improvements. Not only does it help extend the duration of erections, but it also reinforces the mind-body connection critical for long-term sexual health. Endurance increases naturally, and a sense of self-mastery begins to take root. By combining gentle compression and stimulation control, the body becomes more responsive, resilient, and balanced. These techniques build on each other, creating a layered approach to restoring and maintaining male vitality. They are simple, drug-free, and rooted in the body's own natural intelligence. With regular practice, they offer a path toward renewed strength, deeper awareness, and sustainable intimacy at any age. The journey continues in the next technique, which focuses on the center of male energy and control the pelvic floor. This area, often neglected, holds tremendous influence over strength arousal and physical confidence. Strengthening and awakening it is the next essential step. The stimulation control technique is designed to train the body to manage arousal more effectively and extend physical endurance. This method builds on the foundation of increased awareness and muscle training, offering a practical way to strengthen the nervous system's response to rising excitement without letting it peak too soon. The process begins by gently stimulating the body until reaching approximately 70 to 80% of the climax threshold. At this point, arousal is intense, but still within a zone of control. This is the critical stage. Rather than continuing, stimulation is stopped completely. Attention is redirected inward, focusing on breath and internal sensation. A deep breath is taken in, held for a few seconds, and then slowly exhaled. With each breath, the body begins to relax. The heart rate gradually slows, and the intense sensations begin to settle. This moment of restraint is where endurance begins to grow. Once the body cools down to about 50 to 60%, arousal stimulation can begin again. The rise toward the edge and the immediate pause is repeated 3 to 5 times in one session. Each cycle conditions the body and mind to tolerate higher levels of arousal without losing control. Over time, this process strengthens mental discipline and deepens the body's capacity for prolonged performance. In the early sessions, it is common to feel challenged. The urge to continue might feel overwhelming, and the ability to pause at the right moment may be inconsistent. But like any form of training, whether lifting weights or running, longer distances progress depends on repetition and consistency. With regular practice, typically 2 to 3 times per week, the body begins to respond differently. It becomes easier to identify the buildup of tension, and the ability to release that tension on command improves. The result is greater control over arousal, firmer and longer-lasting erections, and a stronger sense of confidence during intimacy. The benefits of this practice extend beyond the physical. Developing mastery over arousal creates a deeper sense of emotional calm. It reduces anxiety, promotes body awareness, and fosters a more grounded and present connection during intimate experiences. As this control improves, so does overall satisfaction. Once the stimulation control technique becomes familiar, it is time to move on to another essential area of focus, the pelvic floor. Often overlooked, this region holds tremendous importance in male sexual health. Located between the anus and the scrotum, the pelvic floor is home to a network of nerves, blood vessels, and muscle groups directly involved in erection strength and ejaculatory control. As the body ages, circulation in this region may weaken and sensitivity can decline. These changes can lead to reduced performance and lower physical response. The pelvic floor massage technique is designed to counteract these effects by restoring blood flow, awakening nerve pathways, and activating the muscles that support sexual function. To begin, a quiet and comfortable space is prepared. The body should be at ease, either lying flat on the back or sitting upright in a relaxed position. A few deep breaths help release physical tension and calm the nervous system. A small amount of water-based lubricant is then applied to the area to reduce friction and improve comfort during the massage. Fingers are gently placed on the region between the scrotum and the anus. This is the target zone for the massage. The process begins with small circular motions performed slowly and attentively. There is no need for deep pressure. The goal in the beginning is simply to stimulate circulation, warm the tissues, and awaken sensitivity in a part of the body that may have been neglected for years. After 1 to 2 minutes of circular movement, the next phase begins with a light tapping technique. Using the fingertips, soft rhythmic taps are applied to the pelvic floor. This gentle stimulation helps reach deeper blood vessels and encourages the flow of oxygenated blood to the erectile tissues. As the tapping continues, a mild tingling or warm sensation may begin to spread through the lower pelvis, a positive sign that circulation is improving and nerves are reactivating. This sequence is not just a physical routine. It is a targeted way to energize the core of male sexual strength. With consistent practice, typically 2 to 3 times a week, the body begins to show real changes. Erections may become firmer and longer lasting. Sensitivity increases. Control returns. But beyond measurable improvements, there is also a subtle, powerful shift, a feeling of reconnection with the body and renewed energy in a part of life that may have felt lost. The pelvic floor is a foundational center of power. When it is stimulated, cared for, and exercised, it begins to support all other aspects of physical intimacy. Together with the previous techniques of gentle compression and stimulation control, pelvic floor massage completes a trio of practices that restore vitality from the inside out. Each method builds upon the other, creating a sustainable natural path toward lasting performance and deeper self-awareness. The journey does not end here. Other techniques continue to build on this foundation, integrating both body and mind. What begins with muscle awareness and blood flow expands into emotional calm, self-trust, and long-term well-being. The next phase will explore how psychological relaxation contributes to this transformation, unlocking the mind's role in maintaining endurance and connection. Using the fingertips to lightly tap the pelvic floor in a slow rhythmic pattern initiates the next phase of stimulation. This motion activates deeper layers of blood vessels beneath the surface, promoting improved circulation to the erectile tissues. As blood flow increases, a warm, tingling sensation often begins to spread across the pelvic region. This warmth is a positive signal, a physical indication that energy is moving, tissues are awakening, and the area is beginning to respond to focused care. Following the tapping technique, the method shifts to gentle pressing. The fingers are placed on the firmer section between the scrotum and the anus, a location where key nerves and blood vessels intersect. Light, steady pressure is applied for 3 to 5 seconds and then released. This action is repeated 5 to 7 times. Each repetition is paired with deep, controlled breaths, allowing the body to remain in a calm, receptive state. As the massage continues, a sense of relaxation begins to deepen. Warmth spreads through the pelvic area, signaling that blood flow is improving and nervous activity is stabilizing. This isn't just about stimulating the body, it's about inviting the nervous system to engage and respond in healthier, more balanced ways. The result is not only a boost in erectile function, but also a natural improvement in sensitivity, tension release, and emotional comfort. This practice is particularly important for men over the age of 60. With age, the genital region may receive less stimulation and attention, leading to reduced function and slower response times. The pelvic floor massage technique counteracts this decline by reactivating circulation, reawakening sensory pathways, and helping maintain muscular tone in a part of the body that often goes unnoticed. Practiced consistently 2 to 3 times per week, this method yields significant improvements. Erections become stronger and more sustainable. Arousal becomes easier to maintain and more prolonged. Confidence grows as control and responsiveness return. Over time, a renewed sense of presence and personal connection replaces hesitation or doubt. Once this foundation has been built through physical techniques like gentle compression, stimulation control, and pelvic floor massage, attention turns to an equally vital dimension, mental relaxation. This is a stage many people overlook, yet it has a profound impact on sexual health, endurance, and performance. The mind and body operate as a unified system. When the mind is anxious, stressed, or distracted, it sends negative signals to the body. Blood flow constricts. Muscular control becomes harder to maintain. Erections weaken or disappear. These patterns often form, silently creating cycles of self-doubt and frustration. But the same mind, when guided toward calm, can restore balanced circulation and control. Practicing psychological relaxation is a way to access this restorative power. The process begins in a quiet, open space, free of noise or interruption. The body is placed in a comfortable position, either sitting upright in a chair or lying flat on a bed. The most important element is ease. The body must be able to fully let go of tension. The eyes are gently closed. Breathing begins slow, deep, and measured. Inhaling through the nose allows cool air to fill the body. The breath is held briefly, then released slowly through the mouth. Each breath becomes softer, deeper, more rhythmic. After 2 to 3 minutes, the heart rate begins to stabilize. The body starts to sink into a calm, grounded state. Once a sense of stillness is reached, attention turns inward. The focus is gently directed toward the pelvic floor, the same area activated during the massage technique. With each inhale, fresh energy is imagined flowing into this area. With each exhale, tension, stress, and discomfort are visualized leaving the body. This visualization is simple but powerful. It creates a mental feedback loop that reinforces relaxation in the parts of the body most essential to physical intimacy. The breath becomes a bridge between the physical and the emotional. Each breath softens mental resistance. Each moment of stillness deepens physiological readiness. This psychological reset makes the body more receptive to stimulation and more capable of sustaining pleasure over time. By incorporating this mental practice alongside physical techniques, sexual vitality is restored through a comprehensive approach. No part of the self is left behind. The body is trained, the nervous system is reawakened, and the mind is invited into a state of calm focus and confidence. This combination leads to long-term improvement, not through artificial intervention, but by reconnecting to the body's natural intelligence. The next stage in this process will focus on everyday habits. What happens outside of practice sessions through sleep, diet, exercise, and stress management will either support or sabotage these efforts. Understanding how lifestyle choices influence sexual health is the final key to building strength that lasts. As breathing settles into a steady rhythm, the mind becomes more receptive to one of the most powerful tools for transformation, positive affirmations. These are simple phrases, but when spoken with intention and repetition, they begin to reshape thought patterns and emotional responses. Phrases like, "I am fully in control of my body," "I am reclaiming my inner strength and confidence," or "Each breath helps me relax deeper and reconnect with my body," are more than just words. They act as anchors, helping the mind stay connected to positive sensations and reinforcing the bond between thought and physical reality. This connection between the mind and body plays a vital role in maintaining natural erections and extending pleasurable experiences. Mental clarity supports physical response. Calmness enhances circulation. Confidence feeds performance. To further deepen the relaxation effect, additional sensory elements can be introduced. Soft ambient music. The sound of flowing water or calming essential oils create a multi-sensory environment that calms the nervous system. When the senses are engaged in harmony, the body naturally transitions into a deeper state of rest and receptivity. This environment becomes fertile ground for recovery, balance, and vitality. Another effective technique is the body scan. This practice involves gradually directing attention to each area of the body, starting from the top of the head and moving down to the tips of the toes. As awareness moves through the body, areas of tension or tightness become easier to identify. If the pelvic floor feels tight-focused, breathing into that space helps release it. A deep inhale invites energy, and a slow exhale helps the muscles soften. Over time, this deliberate awareness trains the body to let go of unnecessary tension and operate from a place of balance. Psychological relaxation is not just a way to reduce stress. It is a foundation for emotional regulation and performance. It builds the mental framework needed to remain composed, focused, and present during intimate moments. As this mental discipline grows, it becomes easier to manage physical responses, sustain arousal, and recover quickly from distraction or doubt. When these mental practices are combined with physical techniques, a complete system for natural strength and confidence begins to take form. But to truly maintain these results long-term, the final element must be addressed: daily habits. Without consistent lifestyle support, even the most dedicated practice can fall short. Long-lasting change happens when what is done daily aligns with the goal of vitality. The first cornerstone of this daily foundation is nutrition. The body requires specific nutrients to support healthy circulation, hormone production, and tissue repair. A diet rich in zinc, vitamin D, vitamin E, and omega-3 fatty acids provides essential support for erectile strength and sensitivity. These nutrients are found in nuts, fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, dark leafy greens such as spinach and kale, and a variety of colorful fresh fruits. Regular consumption of these foods fuels the body with what it needs to thrive. Physical activity is another essential habit. Regular movement improves cardiovascular health, supports weight control, and strengthens the pelvic floor muscles. Incorporating exercises like light squats, brisk walking, and targeted pelvic floor routines such as Kegel exercises provides benefits on multiple levels. Just 30 minutes of movement per day enhances blood flow, builds flexibility, and increases stamina. Sleep is often underestimated, but it plays a crucial role in hormonal balance, recovery, and emotional stability. 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night helps regulate testosterone levels, lowers cortisol, and improves energy. A consistent bedtime routine, reduced blue light exposure before bed, and a quiet sleeping environment all contribute to deeper, more restorative rest. Stress management completes the internal cycle of balance. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, a hormone that can suppress sexual desire and interfere with erection quality. Stress also undermines confidence and emotional presence. Techniques such as deep breathing, yoga meditation, and even simple stretching can reduce cortisol levels and promote emotional balance. These habits train the mind to respond with calm instead of panic, presence instead of pressure. Beyond internal practices, external connection plays a powerful role. Open and honest communication with a partner fosters emotional intimacy, which often translates to stronger physical connection. Sharing thoughts, concerns, and desires helps eliminate performance pressure and builds trust. Mutual understanding creates a safe space where both partners feel supported and confident. When all these components come together, nutritious food, daily movement, restorative sleep, mental clarity, emotional connection, a complete and lasting foundation for sexual wellness is established. This approach does not rely on medication, supplements, or shortcuts. It is grounded in consistent, conscious care. It is sustainable, empowering, and rooted in the body's natural ability to heal, adapt, and grow stronger. Gentle compression, stimulation control, pelvic floor massage, psychological relaxation, and supportive daily habits are not isolated techniques. They are steps in a larger process, a journey toward reclaiming strength, resilience, and confidence in a natural way. These tools are accessible. They require time and commitment, but the rewards are long-lasting and deeply transformative. With daily practice, awareness sharpens, energy returns, and the body begins to respond in ways that feel revitalized and reliable. This path is not about perfection. It is about presence, consistency, and self-respect. Strength is not found in a pill. It is cultivated through persistence, self-discipline, and the quiet decision to take care of the body every single day. This is the journey toward natural vitality. This is the return to power that begins from within.